A little geometry in this section, which I don't know. Okay, I heard some groans and I heard some cheers, so mixed bag there. But the reason for the geometry is we're going to talk about exponent rules, and geometry formulas give us a nice place to practice exponent rules. A lot of what happens when you're working with these formulas, a lot of that ends up involving exponents, as you can see just looking at it. So we'll start with geometry, we'll do some exponent rules, we'll come back to geometry at the end. How many of these formulas are familiar to you?
All of them.
All of them at least vaguely familiar?
Except for the cone. I don't think I ever seen the cone one.
Okay, yeah, that one might not be one that you recognize right away. Good news is I don't expect you to have any of these memorized now or necessarily ever. If we need them, I'll give them to you. But I want you to be able to use them, and I want you to be able to use them with units and exponents, which is what we're going to concentrate on. So for starters, if they don't look terribly familiar to you, what do all the letters stand for? What are all the variables?
Area, volume, diameter.
Okay, so we go slower. Capital A is area. I heard volume. What's the S?
Diameter? No, because S equals 4 pi r squared. So what equals 4 pi r squared?
What if I told you? I like your reasoning there. Sphere. The sphere is an object, not a surface. What?
Area.
Area. You know what's funny? I'm used to it being SA2, which is what I was just going to say. Like when I learned all these, I would have said
Base.
SA there. Okay.
Length.
Length of the base, area of the base, which?
Width.
That's length of the base.
That's base.
Oh, the big B? We're still talking about that one? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I am. I'm way back here, yeah.
Area. The big B should be area.
Yeah.
Well, where is it used?
The trapezoid. So the
We're
big
using
B
it to
would be
be
the bigger base.
the bigger
and then
base, but
the
it's-
little b would be the smaller base.
And they're both the length of the base. Yeah.
The base is on the bottom.
Is
There's
it?
2 bases on the trapezoid.
Is the base always on the bottom?
Technically, there's 4 bases on a trapezoid.
Put it.
Okay, what's a trapezoid
You
look
want to
like?
be different
for-
about this, we can
Long,
get
skinny.
There's a trapezoid. Where are the
Two of them
bases?
makes a hexagon.
top and bottom.
Okay, so we're using like little b for the shorter base, capital B for the longer base. Those aren't the bases. This is not the base because it's on the bottom.
No. The other two
I can
sides
draw
are
it
the
that
same
way.
size.
This is still little b and that's still capital B.
The other 2 sides are the same size.
Because they're perpendicular.
I always learned it as B sub 1 and B sub 2.
That's fine too. Yeah, you'll see it b sub 1, b sub 2. That's fine. Those are the bases because they're the parallel sides on the trapezoid. It's got nothing to do with the orientation. I can spin that and draw it any way I want. Okay, where did we leave off? This is an L, this is
Length.
length,
Width,
width,
Base.
Small base.
base,
small base. We won't get into that again.
Radius.
Radius,
Diameter.
diameter.
Height.
Is it height or height?
Height.
Height.
Oh,
Height.
Really?
Well, look, not English,
This is
math.
a personal pet peeve. It is not height. There is no H on the end of that word. It is just height.
But there is an H. It's also
Not at the
followed
end
with
of the world, the word.
the end of
Okay, I'll
the
shut up. When I
road.
can't get
No
words
H's
out,
at the
it's
end of the
over.
world.
Oh, as long as
All
you
right,
know what's out
let's
there.
talk brownies.
No.
And I know I should
You're
have.
bringing a bucket of blocks and not a bucket of brownies?
Yeah,
We
I
could have
know.
stacked brownies too.
Right? That sounds way more.
That would have been a little messier. Okay, so you'll have to use your imagination here.
A lot more delicious though.
Imaginary brownies. Okay, you've got 2 pans, 8-inch round, 8-inch square. Which one should you use if you want thicker brownies? Which one should you use if you like the edges?
You always
By the
use
way,
square
we
ones
used to
for
say
brownies.
crusty here. You won't believe the reaction we got from students because we had the word crusty brownies in it. They thought that was horrifying.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
okay.
crispy.
It's okay, crispy, so don't call it up crispy. All right, I don't want to say too much there. I want you to see what you can do with that with your group.
All right.
Back up your ideas with a
If
calculation.
you want a thicker brownie, you should have the circle pen, and if you want one with more of an outside edge, you should have the square.
To do that, we have to figure out what the volume is, right? Because we can figure out how
Because
much
the
it is.
area would be smaller in a circle, 8-inch pan, than a rectangle.
Circle.
Just placing them on the top of each other, you can see
No,
that.
no, it wouldn't be a circle.
Yeah.
Circle. per circle is 2 meters.
If they each have the same, right. So the Brownings.
So I think we're looking for circles here.
Explain why and use the appropriate calculations to support your answer.
Yeah, you would.
8-inch round or 8-inch struts.
So the 8-inch round cake is gonna be just like
Base 10, just 8 times 8, 16. Yes. You have to use the calculations to show
Give you a sticker.
to each other, so you have square pan area and the round pan area. And we want the one with the smaller area, bigger brownies, because we want it to rise higher.
So, okay, so you're thinking about the size of the base of the pan. Which one will have a larger base, the area or the circle or the square pan? I don't know, maybe, I mean, some people can picture that. If you can't picture it, then try to do a
Area
calculation.
equals high.
But that's the good first thought, like putting it down to the size of the base. Yeah. See if you can put some numbers to it.
Okay, so the area of a square cake pan is gonna be 60. While the area.
So was this kind of your gut reaction to it? Did you think that before you did your calculations?
Yes.
So if you
Okay, are your calculations backing that up?
because they'll have to put
I don't feel like my calculations justify it. I
Well,
know that
look at what you did
answer.
right here. Let's fix this, because that might change it a lot.
It's with times 8.
Yeah, 8 times 8, but you said 8 times 8 is,
4.
okay. So now does it back it up?
It does back it
The
up.
round, so what's the logic here? The round pan has a smaller,
Area than the height.
because you gotta get the same amount of batter into it, yeah.
What calculation? Oh, higher. The radius would be 4.
Yeah, 64 the area of your square.
Okay, well, you would say that equals area, you know, put it in, and that'll help you keep track of what you're doing.
We got 50.26 for the circle pan.
Okay.
So we figured they should use the circle pan for the thicker brownies because there's less room to fill out, so otherwise that's
Okay, perfect, yeah, that makes sense. See if you can get some units out there and do what?
And that would also be versus because the area is less. Like brownies with fancy
Inches.
Okay, so yeah, it comes down to how you thick the
So actually it's square inches, therefore it would all good. You can write it the same way.
Because you have a smaller base, but if you have a bigger base, it's more spread out.
The diameter of the area of the circle, that's the best.
Thick brownies, thick brownies areas and circles.
Okay, so that measurement, if you're talking about going around, that's not surface area so much
You
as.
can just look at the area,
Whatever that number.
But the area is kind of basically the size of the bomb, which is the right way to
No,
do this one.
in this one, we're trying to find the area, we want the smaller area.
If I want
But
this
for
much
part
of a
B,
crispy
if she
edge,
wants
it's
crispy
possible.
edges, she wants a larger perimeter. And so we figured out the perimeter.
Just like you figured out area for each one up here, and figure out the perimeter for each one.
And so to find the perimeter of a circle is the circumference, which is 2 pi r or pi
Assuming that
Well, the diameter is 8 and the radius is 4, so we would just do pi times 8.
Hang on a second, if we say an 8-inch round,
But
we mean.
I want to point
8
something
inches
out.
divided by 4. Okay, so the 8 inches across. and
We know that
then
pi is 3.14159, blah, 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 blah. And we also know that the perimeter, to get the perimeter, since it's a square pan, all sides are the same. So it's 8 times 4, or 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. So 8 times 4, or 8
And
times
then you use the formula
3.
involving
14159 for pi. And so we already know
You know, diameter is
for the square pan is going to be larger because we're multiplying
Cross
8
is 8.
by the same thing, or
No,
by the
diameter is
different
straight
numbers.
across through the middle, circumference. is
So
all
just
around.
looking at that, I can tell you that the square pan is going to have a larger perimeter because the other number is larger.
Circumference.
And see, I was right. It equals 25.
You do, that's an 8-inch. You say an 8-inch
If it's a
from
round
the pan, you're saying
pan,
all the way
you're gonna
across
use
8 inches.
Is the perimeter. So if you want just the edges, we do the square pan.
I think you're making that up. I think you probably, you thought that when you read it, but.
Well, I might have seen it.
Sure,
It's good not to make a mistake about
More rise, more height, more height.
One note is
Right.
pi r squared, not 2 pi r.
More what? What would be the calculation back up on the paper? Keep talking about the 8 inch on A.
Sure, they're talking about brownies, or did they mistake this for pizza?
I'm sure I'm talking about brownies, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to stop talking about the food.
Edges on brownies.
Oh, something, yeah, some people like crispy edges on brownies. Yeah, just for that.
You make special brownie pans that have walls on the inside of it so that you have the crispy ones all the way. She knows what exactly.
Yes. So I'll get up like the next day, the brownies are just like a shell around the edge. Knock it off.
The other day was right when they cut the middle out.
Say that.
And then just eat it like here.
Have you seen the pans? It's like a.
It says it over here, look under circle,
It's actually an edge.
and then you see circumference, the C, that is the perimeter.
I like measuring.
It has a different name because it's a circle.
No, I thought it was brownie.
There's no such thing as bad
Two
brownie.
pi r.
I can get behind that.